Hi, I'm Dr. Jen, and welcome to Eat Your Damn Food, a conscious path to healing your food and body struggles. And I'm really happy to, Susie, have you with us today. And Susie Kershaw is my favorite yoga teacher. I really call you my teacher. I don't know if you even know that, but I'm always like, she's my teacher. And I would love to just say something about why that really resonated for me. I've been doing yoga now for some years but Susie, when I met you and I went to your class, I was like, wow, this woman has this beautiful combination because you've been training and teaching for years and years. And that's very clear when you're in your class, like the depth of what you know with yoga. But the other part I really love with you is you're just so much fun. Like you make yoga like fun and playful. So it's like this really beautiful
That's
balance between the depth and the fun. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being my
it.
yoga teacher. And you just opened up this fabulous yoga studio. So I definitely want you to talk about that. So I'd love for you just to share a little bit who you are, maybe how you got into yoga, and definitely something about the new studio for sure.
Okay. Well, my name is Susie Kershaw, and I'm from Miami, basically. And I was in the fitness industry for 25 years teaching aerobics. And I was offered a little program to just do a weekend yoga course. And when I took it, I was so hungry for more knowledge about it because these women that taught this course they had not a stitch of makeup on and they were just glowing. And
Mm,
you could tell it came from their hearts, you
mm,
know? And so I said, I want more of that. I always struggled with body image, no matter how I used to be very heavy and I've also been very skinny. It didn't matter. It was irrelevant. It was still always there,
mm,
right?
mm,
But when I did yoga and I started to learn and study more about yoga, it wasn't the physical postures, even though that helps because it helps you get inside your body in a different way. I started to realize parts of my body that I was shutting off. Everybody has something,
mhm.
and I would be, wow, I felt not so bad, and I felt more beautiful, but internally beautiful, you know. So I just started studying yoga from then on. I was hungry for as much knowledge as I could find,
Mm.
just on my own, and then just started taking all kinds of trainings, and then wound up teaching for some great studios and for churches and anyone that would have me at that point.
Mm.
But it landed me here, and I've had the blessing of having these amazing students like Jen.
Mhm.
And you do it for the love of that, for the love of your friends, your students. It just, you do it for free most of the time, right? It doesn't matter. It's just the way it is. And, but I was blessed to be able to open a small studio in Coral Gables, and we're just starting, and it's been amazing.
So glad you did. I want to kind of go into a little more what you said that it's like, it's not really about the asanas because sometimes what you hear people say, right, when you talk about yoga, they'll be like, I'm not flexible, right? Because
Exactly.
they think, right, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to do a headstand or a backman. And I'm like, geez, I don't do a lot of those kinds of things. And you always say, like, wait, the postures, the asanas are like one branch, but it really is not really about that. Yoga doesn't even mean that. And I'm
Right.
wondering if you could talk just a little bit more about that and the benefits of yoga that are even beyond the physical, although the physical is a piece of it, right?
So, okay, just to touch on the physical benefits, it's like squishing out your tissues. It's like getting a massage.
Mm,
And and so your physical body will start to clean itself. You might notice you have to pee a lot
mm,
because you're getting rid of a lot of things and not necessarily toxins. It just could be anything. But on a spiritual level, and I don't want to go into the whole science of it, it starts to tap into the energy centers of the body. So that taps into organs. Each one corresponds to an organ. But, and this is my feeling, we tend to hold our traumas in certain parts of our body.
mm,
So when you do yoga, you start to kind of stimulate those areas and you have a bit of a unwinding there.
mm, mm.
So it tends to make you also less reactive to situations in life, like traffic
Yeah.
situations. It's so in Miami, you know how it is. it's not that it doesn't affect you, but maybe it doesn't stay with you as long. Or if you have a something with your spouse, you might react well in a much different way than you did previously.
And when you said that part about like the body, right? Like the body holds, and sometimes it holds things that you
Yes.
don't even know where some of those traumas are being held in the body. And I've had that experience where you're like moving a certain way and all of a sudden you're feeling all of this emotion.
That,
I really had this memory with my mom who passed
oh,
a year ago, and it was sad on one hand, but it was also like a sweet memory. But I could see it was like, oh, I'm processing
right.
something in this class. And maybe I heard this from you, but this idea, or maybe somebody, of like the work we do on the mat, the point really is to take that learning into our lives, which
That's,
I love that
yeah.
concept.
They say off of the mat into the world.
And I will say, I sometimes do feel like I have these like kind of profound moments in the class, like where something maybe they're
Yeah.
upsetting me for the week, and somehow it just kind of like clears out in the class. And so I do think yoga is, yes, for the body, for the spirit, but definitely for the emotional self.
If I were to get into the philosophy of yoga just a little bit, they have something called the Yoga Sutras, which are kind of like the Bible. It's a starting point. There are many other scriptures, but in the first three scriptures, or sutras as they say, there's just three. It says three things. Now here is the instruction of yoga. I won't say it in Sanskrit right now. The second one says that yoga is the cessation of the fluctuation of the mind, so it calms
Mm.
that circular thought pattern we have. But then the question is, why does that matter? And it says, then the seer, you and I, can see ourselves in our true nature. In other words, the beauty that we are.
Mm.
That's it. That's all of yoga right there.
Something about our true self.
Never changes. It's always there. No matter what happens to us, even though we think it's not there, it's there. It's
Yeah.
just to be uncovered again.
And anybody listening, isn't that what we want? Like to walk through the world in our true self and feeling like that's enough,
Right.
right? Because so much in our culture, so much messages can have us not feel that way.
Yes.
So this practice, and it truly is a practice. It doesn't mean you're going to do like a yoga class one time and you could have this profound experience, but there is something about, right,
Yes.
the keep showing up, the keep showing
Yes.
up. And you
Yes.
said that thing, Susie, and we were talking about this idea of feeling that beautiful feeling, and it is not just the outside, but the inside, or feeling our connection to like our feminine. Um, or our sexy, our sensual, like all of that we can also get connected to with yoga. I even notice sometimes like my posture will change, like it, right? Like I sort of naturally put my shoulders back, my heart's more open, like my whole like beingness will change, and I notice that.
Yes. I feel like beauty personally has nothing to do with weight anyway. And
Mm,
matter. The most beautiful women I know, they have weight on them, and who cares? It's
mm,
is that relevant? Not really.
mm,
It's when it affects your health that it becomes relevant. That's
mm.
a different situation. So, but I think just yoga has really helped me connect with myself internally and just, feel like I'm okay as I am right now in this moment.
For some of the people that I work with, it's like there's such a disconnect from self,
Yeah.
disconnect from body, disconnect from
Yeah.
feelings. And,
Yes.
just yoga is one path to kind of connecting. And then I think it really is finding a teacher that can meet you where you
Yeah.
are. And that's one thing I do love, Susie, with your classes, because you do see all kinds of people, all kinds of body types. There are men in the class too, which is great. Like we always have some men in the class that really that show up, and people at all levels. So that's the other thing. So what would you say to somebody, Susie, that like they're hearing this, they're like, God, I want to try it, but I'm kind of afraid. Like, where would you like suggest somebody starts?
Somebody starts at a very basic level class with a teacher that's been teaching for a long time. I think that's always very important. And I mean, everybody has to start somewhere to teach, the teachers, but the newer ones, you have to, they're still young and they're just learning. So that's not to say they're not great teachers. They are. But if you're a little bit nervous, go with someone that's been teaching for a long time that doesn't teach fancy stuff.
Mm.
They might basic class or a level one, or even maybe work one on one with a teacher and
Mm.
do a few poses. Or even right now, you can go on YouTube and they have so many great little snippets,
Mm.
15 minutes to breathe and do something simple like just twist and feel your tummy.
And Susie, I'd love for you to share with people the website if they do want to check out this awesome studio in Miami. And you do other things than just classes. There's these cool events.
Well, the website is Suva, SUVA, yoga.net. Yes, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and we have our website. That's our website. So anybody can find us there. Suva. Suva is the largest town in Fiji. It also has a translation of alchemy, like turning metal into gold, I read.
Oh, that's
It's actually
beautiful.
one of my best friends, Susie and Vanessa. That's our names together.
That's
Suva.
great. And it really is an alchemy.
Yeah,
That's what I love about the
we
path of
have,
Buddha.
and if you come to our studio, that's the beauty. Everybody embraces you there.
Well, if you're in Miami, check out Suva. It's a great place. And if you want any further information, you can reach out to Dr. Jen. You can reach out to Susie to learn more. We're happy to guide you. So, okay, Susie, thanks so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple days for the very cool sound bowl chakra healing. So,
Thanks, Jen.
okay,
Namaste.
namaste.